Chapter 1. Magic at Millennium Park. Julia works late. A lone figure at the Crown Fountain, her heels echoing against polished stone. Paul appears, saxophone slung over his shoulder. He plays softly under the lights, notes curling toward the river. She's drawn in. He plays on, eyes on her. Their eyes meet, melting time. He walks over, pauses, and offers a smile. "Chicago's better with music," he says. She nods, wordless. He asks, "Walk with me?" She says yes, and they stroll, jazz guiding their steps. Chapter 2. Espresso and First Touch. Next evening, a jazz lounge. Julia picks a seat. Paul plays the set, notes swirling around him. Their connection hums. Afterward, they walk to a nearby cafe. She orders espresso. He laughs and orders too. She watches him, heart-picking rhythms. They linger. Their shoulders touch. His hand covers hers. "Feel warm?" he asks softly. She smiles, breath catching. "A little." He leans close, whispering, lips brushing. The first kiss, soft, electric. Chapter 3. Velvet Loft and Unbuttoned Hearts. Paul invites her to his loft. Exposed brick, dim lights, a velvet chaise. He pours wine. She picks the playlist. They talk, share fears, art, vulnerability. He stands and moves behind her, unzipping her dress with steady fingers. She freezes, then melts into his touch. Their first erotic encounter is slow. Every button undone with intention, every kiss exploring. They make love, tender, curious, discovering each other's bodies and boundaries. Later, in sheets, Julia sighs. "You drew me in." He answers, "You made me stay." Chapter 4. City Lights and Pillow Talk. They walk along Navy Pier at night, the city lights dancing on water. He wraps his jacket around her shoulders. She leans in. They stop, kiss under carousel lights, the city watching. They return to his loft. Julia curls into him. She runs her fingers through his hair. He whispers, "Stay tomorrow." She closes her eyes. Yes. Chapter 5. Tension and Truth. Morning. Tension. She wakes early, worried. He sleeps. She kisses his shoulder and slips out. He awakens to absent. Realization hits. She returns after brunch. They gather at Louise's coffee bar downtown. They talk. Fear surfaces. She fears emotion. He fears losing connection. They come back to his loft. No costumes, no games. Their lovemaking becomes urgent. Paul gently asks her limit. She says, "Keep me safe." His touch goes soft, knowing. They meet in so much more than desire. Chapter 6. Chicago and Commitment. 4 weeks later, Chicago winter. He plays at a jazz club. She's in the front row. After, he pulls her on stage, introduces her as someone who colors my world. He asks her on stage, "Be mine?" She whispers yes. They walk outside into snowfall. He wraps his arms around her, kisses taste of promise. They make love in the snow, on his balcony, barefoot, breath mingling, shivering with pleasure and hope. And they stand in snow, holding each other against Chicago's skyline, passion and commitment forever woven. Chapter 7. A Window with Rope. Paul surprises Julia with a gift, a silk rope kit, and a book titled The Art of Sherbari. "I want to learn more with you," he says. "I want us to explore, not escape." She blushes. "I've fantasized about being tied. Gently, beautifully." That night, under soft light, he binds her hands above her, slowly, watching her breathing, her eyes. The intimacy is overwhelming. She feels safe, controlled, exposed, worshipped. Afterward, wrapped in a blanket by the window, she whispers, "You don't just touch me. You study me." He kisses her shoulder. "You're my favorite subject." Chapter 8. Distance and Desire. Paul is invited to perform in New Orleans for 2 weeks. Julia smiles, encourages him, but the void hits fast. They exchange sensual voice notes. Julia sends a photo in silk and lace, tied loosely at the waist. Paul calls her during a break, whispering, "When I come back, I'm not letting you leave the bed for a day." She laughs. But she needs his presence more than she admits. When he returns, their reunion is feral, clothes torn, words moaned, hours melted in a tangle of heat and homecoming. Chapter 9. The green-eyed city. At a rooftop party, Julia notices Paul talking to a singer. Too close. Too familiar. Jealousy burns. She pulls him aside. Is she someone you've loved?
He's honest. Yes. Once.
Not anymore. That night, she challenges him. Make me feel irreplaceable. Paul blindfolds her. He traces a feather across her stomach. Uses warm wax. Just enough to tease. Never to hurt. He whispers every reason he only wants her, word by word, with every touch. She cries when she comes, and laughs through the tears. Chapter 10, Firelight Promises. It's winter again. They escape to a cabin near Lake Michigan. A fireplace.
Wine.
A faux fur rug. Paul brings out a journal labeled Us. Inside, photos, notes, napkins from first dates. He asks, will you keep writing this story with me? Julia trembles.
Yes.
Even the chapters I'm scared of. He makes love to her in front of the fire, whispering stories between kisses, building heat until their bodies burn in sync. Chapter 11. One more note. Back in Chicago, Paul plays his first original composition in public. It's called Julia in Moonlight. She listens, tears sliding down her cheeks. Afterward, he hands her a velvet box. Not a ring, but a bracelet with a small silver key. It opens the top drawer of my desk, he says. Inside, your letter. And your rope. Come back anytime. Or never leave. She answers not with words, but with a kiss that says, I already chose you. Chapter 12. The Architect's Dilemma. Julia is offered a dream job, lead architect for a European firm in Copenhagen. It means leaving Chicago. Leaving Paul. She doesn't tell him right away. The secret becomes a weight. One night, over dinner, she finally breaks. They want me. In Europe. It's big. Paul looks at her quietly. Do you want it? I don't know, she admits. I want you. He doesn't stop her. He just says, if you go, I won't hold you back. But I will wait, if you ask me to. Chapter 13. Tied in silence. The uncertainty thickens. They try to reconnect through physical closeness. Julia suggests a new scene, one where she gives up control entirely. No speaking, no movement, only trust. Paul binds her wrists gently, blindfolds her, then begins a sensory journey. Silk, ice, candlelight, his mouth. The silence speaks louder than words. Afterward, she sobs in his arms. I'm afraid to choose wrong. He kisses her forehead, then don't choose alone. Chapter 14. The Almost Break. 1 week later, a fight explodes. Paul accuses her of running. She says he doesn't understand her ambition. He leaves in the middle of the night. She wakes up alone. The city feels different, distant. Days pass. Julia walks along the riverwalk, headphones in, listening to a track he once wrote for her. Then he's there, across the path, saxophone in hand, playing. The melody is sad, haunting, full of longing. She crosses the bridge to him. I'm not running anymore. He lowers the saxophone. Then come home. Chapter 15. Home together. They move in together. Julia turns Paul's music room into a shared creative studio. He builds her a drafting desk. She installs a ceiling hook for suspension play. They explore.
Safely.
With laughter. New positions. Even playful role reversal. One night, Julia ties him down, lightly, and teases him for hours.
She learns what power feels like.
They talk after every scene. They make rules. And promises. She whispers, this is the life I was afraid to want. Paul holds her hand. And now I want nothing else.
Chapter 16. Snowfall et seconde chance.
1 year later, Chicago winter again. Navy Pier. The same place they first kissed. Snow falls. Jazz plays faintly from a busker nearby. Paul kneels. Not with jewelry, but with a rolled blueprint, the dream home they've designed together. You once said you didn't want to choose wrong, he says. But I think we've been building the answer together. Tears in her eyes. Julia takes the blueprint. Let's finish this story. He wraps his arms around her. They kiss as snowflakes melt on their lips. The city sparkles around them, but they only see each other.